after the news broke, Jay-Z's lawyer filed a motion on Tuesday. They've asked to deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously. They've also asked for the case to be dealt with as quickly as possible because of the highly sensitive nature of the matter and because of the media interest it's generated. The filed motion from Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, also says, for the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Carter is entirely innocent. This is a shakedown. He is not mentioned, referenced, or implicated in any way in the criminal investigation of Mr. Combs. He is neither a target nor a person of interest in that investigation. Cheyenne, I'll start with you. Sort of where were you and how did you react when you heard the new allegations?
I was actually coming out of a theater show, and so my phone just was filled with messages trying to work out what happened, and then Jay-Z's statement dropped, and so it was kind of all hands on deck on a Sunday night, which has been kind of the case for some of these updated filings. The news breaks at night, and the next morning it's just unfolding as things continue.
I was in the bed eating chicken wings, and they were delicious. And all of a sudden, my phone just started text messages and messages from TikTok, and so I started doing my own research, and I had grease all over my fingers typing on the iPad. And
it's official. Diddy, the once untouchable hip-hop mogul, is cracking under pressure. In a shocking twist that's sending shockwaves through the music industry, Diddy is now allegedly cooperating with federal authorities to save himself. The man who once ruled parties, music charts, and billion-dollar deals is reportedly naming names, big ones. And at the very top of that list, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Reports suggest Diddy is offering up damning information that could shift the entire power structure of Hollywood and hip-hop. He's not just snitching, he's detonating a bomb. Facing federal investigations, lawsuits, and mounting evidence, Diddy appears to be doing the one thing no one expected, turning on his closest allies. This revelation has shaken the industry to its core, leaving celebrities scrambling, fans stunned, and the public wondering, what exactly did Diddy say and how far will this go?
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything, just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
Diddy and Jay-Z, from power duo to possible enemies. For years, Diddy and Jay-Z were the blueprint of black excellence. They toasted at Rock Nation brunches, celebrated at exclusive events, and stood as pillars in music, fashion, and tech. Together, they shaped the modern hip-hop empire. Their relationship was more than just friendship. It was a calculated partnership, a shared strategy to control influence across multiple industries. But now, that alliance may be over. According to insiders, Diddy has implicated Jay-Z in ongoing investigations in a last-ditch effort to reduce his own sentence. What was once loyalty is now betrayal. The cracks had been showing, Jay-Z distancing himself, avoiding comment, removing ties. But no one thought Diddy would actually name him. Now that he has, it's open season, and people are asking, was this really about survival, or did Diddy have long-standing dirt on Jay-Z waiting for the perfect moment to use it?
Mediation, is it a normal thing to ask for? Why? I'm trying to put myself in the mind of somebody who may possibly, allegedly have suffered this. Mediation, why would you want that?
in some states, it's not even that you want it, it's required. Like in our state, when we file a lawsuit, before you can get in front of a jury, you must tell the judge that we attempted to mediate and attempted to work this case out. You must do it.
Okay, you said this is filed federally, but that doesn't mean it's filed criminally.
No.
If it's within the statute in New York, why isn't it filed criminally?
What a great question, right? And that's one of his allegations as he's coming back forth. He's just like, if there was merit to this case, that's his statement. If there's merit to this case, why didn't they come after me criminally? And if any state prosecutor, if any federal prosecutor is hearing these allegations and just said, hey, we're not going to do anything with them, that's insane. So I think that tips to Jay-Z's favor that they're not looking at this. Or are they? They may be. I don't know. And maybe they haven't talked to the victim yet. There's a lot we don't know.
And I would add, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but as a person, I can't bring a criminal lawsuit against anyone, even if there was a crime that happened. The state or federal prosecutors have to decide that my case has merit, and they are the ones that bring criminal charges. So even when, Jay-Z is saying, hey, take this criminal, as an individual person, I can't do that. That is out of my hands. That is in law enforcement's hands. So
the Jane Doe allegations, the lawsuit that changed everything. The tipping point may have come in the form of a chilling lawsuit filed by a woman known only as Jane Doe. She accused both Diddy and Jay-Z of being involved in horrific acts at a private afterparty in 2000. Drugging, coercion, trafficking. These aren't rumors anymore. They're federal level allegations backed by legal filings, survivor testimony, and allegedly surveillance footage. Jane Doe claims she was lured into a setup disguised as a celebrity afterparty, only to be assaulted, filmed, and silenced. What's more disturbing is that these claims reference specific celebrities being present and complicit. The court documents suggest multiple people in the room knew what was happening and said nothing. As the heat intensified, insiders say that's when Diddy started cooperating. His goal: shift the spotlight, reduce his own charges, and offer prosecutors bigger fish. And according to sources close to the case, Jay-Z was one of the first names out of his mouth.
A new Diddy accuser claiming he was sexually assaulted, raped, and humiliated at a freak-off party in Miami, and that other big stars saw him in rough shape. TMZ is all over this story. Branson Quirk joining us live. Now, Branson, let me get this right. This new Diddy accuser is basically claiming he was sexually assaulted at the freak-off party, and he claims that other celebrities were there as well?
Yes, exactly. In this lawsuit, it's important to note that these names are not being sued, but they are named as witnesses inside this lawsuit, those names being Jay-Z, Beyonce, Gloria Estefan, as well as LeBron James. Just to paint you a little bit of a picture of this horrific lawsuit, a man by the name of Joseph Marzano, he claims that he had, in the beginning of this lawsuit, he claims that he woke up in a mansion, this is way back in April of 2015, in a mansion owned by Gloria and Emilio Estefan, and when he woke up not knowing how he got there, he was then led through a tunnel to Diddy's house, and we can confirm that Diddy, his home is nearby to Gloria and Emilio Estefan's home, and once he was through this tunnel, he eventually came across and claimed that LeBron James was walking by in a towel of sorts, saw him in rough shape, and said, someone's got to do something about this, and then continuing on through that, they ended up stripping his clothes. They put a demoralizing mask on him, a genitalia mask of sorts on his face to humiliate him. And then he claims that Beyonce and Jay-Z saw him in this mask, prompting Beyonce to then ask, why is there this man in front of me wearing this mask? And then claims that going forward, he doesn't remember too much more. And he said that he was drugged and everything. So just given all of these facts,
Beyonce dragged into the mix. What did she know? Though Beyonce is not facing direct accusations, her name has entered the storm. Sources claim she may have been present at some of the parties now under investigation. Rumors are swirling that Diddy's secret tapes, allegedly recorded during his notorious freak-off parties, show more than just industry figures letting loose. They might reveal who stood by in silence. The public wants to know, what did Beyonce see? What did she know? And did she say anything? For someone known to carefully protect her image, even the suggestion of being near these events could be damaging. It's not about guilt by participation anymore. It's about guilt by association. If Beyonce is seen on these tapes, if her name is in the files Diddy turned over, then even she may not be untouchable. The silence from the Carter camp is loud, but the louder question is, how long can that silence last?
Did you see what
hidden cameras, freak-offs, and secret tapes. The parties weren't just parties, they were traps. Multiple witnesses now say that Diddy's wildest gatherings, often called freak-offs, were monitored with hidden cameras. Guests, many of them under the influence, were allegedly recorded without consent, engaging in acts they might not even remember. It's rumored that these tapes show A-list celebrities, music executives, and even politicians in compromising positions. And now those recordings may be in federal hands. Some say Diddy kept the footage as leverage, insurance in case the industry ever turned on him. Others believe he used it to control, manipulate, and blackmail his peers. Whatever the reason, the fact remains, if these tapes exist, this, they're a nuclear bomb waiting to explode. The fear is real. Stars are deleting photos, posts, and contacts. No one knows who's been recorded or what's been captured. But if even a fraction of what's being whispered is true, then the entire entertainment world is about to be flipped upside down.
Joy Dickerson-Neal alleges Diddy raped her in 1991, also in New York. Echoing what prosecutors would write in a federal indictment against Diddy, Dickerson-Neal alleges Diddy recorded this sexual assault. Her lawsuit also argues that she's the victim of revenge porn, as Diddy showed this recording to multiple people without her consent. All three of these civil lawsuits were filed last November under the New York Survivors Act. And so too was a bombshell civil suit filed by Cassandra Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who's also known as the singer Cassie. It was with Cassie's lawsuit that we first heard in-depth accusations about Diddy's alleged illegal activity. To start, there's the gun allegation that on at least 2 occasions, Diddy demanded Cassie hold his gun in her purse. The lawsuit goes on to state, quote, "There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous." Beyond the gun allegations, Cassie put forth some other major accusations in her 35-page lawsuit. She says Diddy beat her, sometimes so severely that she had to hide out in hotels for days at a time, waiting for the bruises to heal. Diddy got jealous when Cassie began flirting with rapper Kid Cudi in 2011. Cassie says that in 2012, Diddy told her that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. The allegations brought forth in Cassie's lawsuit were shocking, and so too were the accusations brought months later in yet another civil suit filed by Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod. He began working with Diddy in 2022 on the Love album, and soon, he alleges, the abuse began. Lil Rod accuses Diddy of sexual assault, writing he was, quote, "the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs." He also alleges Diddy and his team were grooming Lil Rod to engage in gay sex. Lil Rod further alleges that Diddy forced him to have sex with prostitutes and even drugged Lil Rod to get him to comply. On top of these sexual assault allegations, Lil Rod's lawsuit also alleges that Diddy ran a gun and drug trafficking scheme.
Diddy's alleged cooperation. Is he snitching to the feds? As pressure from federal investigators mounts, the unthinkable has reportedly happened. Diddy is cooperating. Sources close to the ongoing investigation say that Sean Diddy Combs is sitting down with authorities and giving them everything they need to build bigger cases. In a strategic move designed to shave years off a possible sentence or avoid one altogether, Diddy is allegedly naming names, turning over evidence, and offering insight into the inner workings of a celebrity underworld that's long remained untouchable. And among the biggest names in his crosshairs, Jay-Z. This isn't just hearsay. Legal insiders familiar with how federal racketeering and trafficking cases unfold say Diddy's sudden silence, public withdrawal, and shifts in legal representation suggest a deal is in play. When someone at his level flips, it isn't just about saving face, it's about saving freedom. These sources say Diddy has been sharing what he knows about not only events at his own parties, but the people who attended, what they did, and what they witnessed. If these claims hold, Diddy may be crafting a path out of the fire by throwing his so-called brothers into it. Jay-Z, once his closest industry ally, is reportedly being scrutinized more heavily as Diddy continues these closed-door talks. Federal agents are allegedly verifying timelines, reviewing surveillance material, and identifying individuals in the tapes turned over. This could be why so many artists have gone radio silent. They're waiting, watching, and fearing the fallout.
Diddy also allegedly forced victims to carry illegal firearms, often through coercion and the assistance of his associates working for the Combs enterprise. Not only would these associates help suppress the victims, but they also arranged the freak-offs by booking hotel rooms and stocking the rooms with required freak-off necessities like baby oil or personal lubricant. These associates would also procure sex workers and IVs that were given to both Combs and the victims after these freak-off sessions to help them recover from the physical exertion and drug use. As part of all this, Diddy and his associates transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Diddy is also accused of transporting survivor Jane Doe across state lines when he flew her from Michigan to New York in 2003. Jane Doe filed civil suit against Diddy in fall 2023, alleging that 20 years prior, he raped her when she was only 17. According to Jane Doe's suit, she met one of Diddy's associates in Michigan and was flown on Diddy's private jet to his studio in New York. Jane Doe also provided pictures of her with Diddy in the studio, bolstering her accusations. Once there, Diddy allegedly drugged Jane Doe and forced her to drink alcohol. After that, he allegedly raped her before sending her back to the Midwest. It's a similar story from Liza Gardner, who also filed civil suit last fall. She alleges Diddy also raped her in New York, but way back in 1990. Gardner's lawsuit alleges she and a friend met Diddy at a party, and then at an after party, he gave her alcohol. He then allegedly raped her before another man also raped her. During all this, both men allegedly also raped Gardner's friend. A couple days later, Combs came to the home where Liza Gardner and her friend were staying. He was irate and began assaulting and choking Liza Gardner to the point that she passed out.
This isn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This is the type of cooperation that turns scandals into federal indictments. The music industry has seen scandals before, but never quite like this. If Diddy's telling the truth to save himself, he's not just rewriting his own legacy, he's potentially bringing down some of the most powerful names in entertainment with him. And if this snitching strategy works, the floodgates could open for a wave of prosecutions no one saw coming. Jay-Z under fire, grooming allegations and industry secrets. With Diddy reportedly cooperating, all eyes have turned to Jay-Z. And what's surfacing isn't new. It's the return of old rumors, disturbing whispers, and uncomfortable truths that have followed him for years. The most chilling claims that Jay-Z was not just a savvy businessman, but a methodical manipulator behind the scenes. Some insiders allege that Jay-Z's rise was marked not only by smart moves, but by exploiting vulnerable artists, controlling relationships, and carefully grooming those around him to protect his empire. These stories are gaining new traction now that Diddy is talking. Jay-Z's early relationship with Beyoncé is under renewed scrutiny. She was young, impressionable, and rising to fame rapidly. Critics have long questioned how that dynamic really played out, and whether the power imbalance was more sinister than romantic. As this case unfolds, people are re-examining Jay-Z's entire career, his connections, his silence on controversial topics, and the way he's navigated industry politics with surgical precision.
Yeah. What's up? This is my daughter, Laurie, everybody. This is my youngest daughter. So this is the award. I haven't seen it.
Congratulations.
I shared this with all of my staff. Shane, Slade, everybody, Terrell, the staff, Don Weiner, the producer, all the camera guys, everybody, because without them, this really doesn't happen. So, and then thank you for doing it.
Of course.
And so, did you have a good time?
I did. It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, Mom and I decided that you shouldn't attend award shows anymore because when you don't win, you don't really know how to fix your face and, you know, smile and still be happy, so. Very expressive.
So you and your mama decided that I shouldn't go to no more damn award shows.
I think it's honestly for the best, honestly. Well, so, you know.
What can I do to be happy?
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
I'm very much in a space right now where I'm not doing anything that's gonna compromise my peace and happiness.
Former associates and background insiders are beginning to speak in whispers. Some suggest that Jay-Z knew far more about what went on at Diddy's parties than he ever let on. And now that Diddy is pointing fingers, Jay-Z's long-held secrets may be slipping through the cracks. The lawsuit filed by Jane Doe, which directly names Jay-Z as a participant in disturbing acts, has only poured gasoline on an already burning fire. While Jay-Z's legal team is working overtime to shut down the case, the public is starting to question everything. Why the aggressive legal tactics? Why the silence? Why hasn't he come forward to speak plainly if he's innocent? When the most powerful men in the world close ranks and say nothing, it only makes the noise around them louder. And with Diddy's voice now added to the chorus, Jay-Z is no longer just a business mogul under fire. He may be the next target in a federal web that's only just beginning to unravel. Hollywood's silence and fear. Who's next? As Diddy's alleged cooperation becomes clearer, fear is gripping the heart of Hollywood. Quietly, discreetly, celebrities are scrubbing social media, cutting ties, and vanishing from the narrative. It's no coincidence. According to insiders, the names that have surfaced during this investigation go far beyond just Jay-Z and Beyoncé. We're talking about chart-topping artists, major label executives, A-list actors, and even political donors, many of whom attended Diddy's infamous freak-off parties and allegedly appear on the tapes now in federal hands. The fear isn't just about guilt, it's about proximity. If Diddy had hidden cameras running, if people were recorded doing or witnessing illegal activity, then being at one of those parties could be career-ending. Legal consequences aside, the stain on a public image could be irreversible. Some are reportedly lawyering up now, not because they're guilty, but because they know they were there. And if Diddy's tapes are as comprehensive as claimed, then no one's memory is safe. The culture of silence in Hollywood is cracking, and the echoes are loud. People who once protected Diddy, who partied with him, who profited from proximity, are running scared. The system that kept secrets buried is collapsing, and the age of plausible deniability is coming to an end. This is the kind of reckoning we saw with Epstein, with Harvey Weinstein, and now it's sweeping through the entertainment industry with terrifying momentum. No one knows who's next. Names that haven't been spoken in years are suddenly back in headlines. Faces once celebrated are being questioned. And as Diddy's disclosures continue, the question becomes, how far will this go? If he's truly snitching to save himself, then the next bombshell could drop any second, and someone else's carefully crafted legacy might go up in flames. The fallout for Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé. As the dust begins to settle, one thing is clear: there is no going back. Diddy's empire is in ruins. The lawsuits, the raids, the leaked footage, and now the reports of cooperation have irreparably shattered his image. Once hailed as a hip-hop king and business tycoon, he's now viewed as a disgraced figure clawing for an escape route. But what about the people he's implicated? What happens now for Jay-Z and Beyoncé? If Diddy's cooperation is credible, Jay-Z may face more than lawsuits. He could be called into court, named in indictments, or at the very least forced to testify. And even if criminal charges never land, the court of public opinion is already shifting. Beyoncé, once above reproach, may also be pulled into this spiral, not as a criminal, but as a potential witness to an era of silence and secrets. Her brand has been built on empowerment, independence, and artistry. But what happens when association becomes complicity? More names are expected, more files, more footage, more lawsuits. This isn't just a scandal, it's a paradigm shift. The entertainment world is undergoing a brutal exposure. Networks of power built on loyalty, NDAs, and fear are being dismantled. And as survivors find their voices, the industry's gatekeepers are being forced to confront decades of darkness. Diddy may think he's saving himself by flipping, but in doing so, he's torn down the very house he helped build. And if Jay-Z and Beyoncé are caught in that collapse, then the world will have to reckon with something deeper than gossip. It'll have to face the truth about how power really works in Hollywood. The fallout has only just begun.